Hello everybody. Well, we're in the lead up to Easter. It's only a couple of weeks till the bunny comes hopping along and brings us lots of treats. This is the time of year where people start to think about, well, they're around all year, but more than ever, people are thinking about hot cross buns. So today we're going to make hot cross buns with a twist. These are chocolate hot cross buns. The kids will absolutely love them. And we're going to give this a go today. I am not fantastic with dough, but let's give it a go. I'm sure with Thermi, it'll be easy enough to do. So let's get going with this. Chocolate hot cross buns. Right, so that's already set aside and done. Right, I don't need to do any of the measuring. I've done all this already. So what we're going to do is tear the scales back to 0. And here I've measured out 200 grams of milk. I'm just going to place that into the bowl. Next, 50 grams of sugar. Here's 50 grams of sugar that I've weighed out already. And 2.5 teaspoons of dried yeast. So we just put that in there. And then we're going to just put the lid on the machine. And what we're going to be doing is stirring it around and heating it, because the heat and the sugar activates the yeast and gets it going. So the rising happens quite quickly when we put it all together. So it's going to go for 2 minutes. It's going to heat to speed 37 on speed 2. So hopefully, well, there's no hopefully, that will mix it around. It'll activate the yeast and we can get on with the recipe then. Keep going. Okay, so the 2 minutes is up. And here we've got the yeast, the milk and the sugar mixed together. A little bit is here. I'm just going to scrape that down so it gets all in there and can warm up nicely. And the yeast can eat that sugar. Now, what's our next step? We want to add 2 eggs into this. So here's 2 eggs. And now we're going to add in 500 grams of baker's flour. You can just get baker's flour at your supermarket. It's not hard. It's right there with the ordinary plain and self-raising. And that just goes in like that very easily. Now here we've got 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon and yes, and there's a little bit of salt in with that. And here is the cocoa powder, 20 grams. And the sea salt's mixed in already with that. And now, this is the easy part. Normally you've been mixing for ages trying to do this, but the wonders of Thermi, you don't have to worry. So it's going to go for 20 seconds on speed 3. And that will incorporate all that together. The next part is going to be adding in some chocolate chips that we've got here and doing a bit more kneading. So it's going to go really well. It takes no time at all. 20 seconds is pretty quick. And before you know it, your dough is ready. There we go. Here's a little tip for you. If you press anywhere on the screen, it stops the sound. And the arms open up and you can take the lid off. So if we have a look at that, that's all mixed around quite nicely. I am going to scrape that down a little bit. I'm a bit obsessional about scraping down the sides of the bowl, but really it takes next to no time. And look at that, already mixed up. Now, there we go. Scrape down, last bit's in. So we are now going to knead it, and I forgot what that said. Keep the measuring cup inserted, and we're going to knead for 5 minutes. Now, kneading is one of the special functions that the TM6 has, and it's quite simple to do. you simply turn the dial and it will now knead for 5 minutes. So I'll see you in 5 minutes, folks. And now the kneading is finished. Come and have a look and see what it looks like. Look at that, that is beautiful. All done and with zero effort. Fantastic. So let's see what we've got to do next. So without the measuring cup, we're going to knead for 2 more minutes. And adding the reserved butter, so 200 grams of butter, cut into pieces, we're just going to add that through the hole in the top. And that will then gradually just get incorporated into the dough. There we go. Oh. In it goes. I'm going to use my finger, excuse me. Just go in. Right. There we go, nearly done. So, we've got 1 minute to go. And that kneading's finished. Let's have a look and see. Look at it now. It's totally changed. It's a beautiful, glossy looking dough. So let's see where we need to go next with this. So this is measuring out some chocolate chips, which I have already done, and they're here ready to go. And I've set them aside. So what we're going to do now is just come with me over here, and I am going to, excuse my back, put the dough out onto this amazing silicone bread mat. This, of course, you can get at the mix shop. They're currently on special for $45, I think. These are amazing. Well marked out, so you know exactly when you're cutting dough, the size of it. And here, if you're wanting to roll out pastry to fit in a tin, absolutely perfect, and nothing sticks to it. It is great. I've used this a few times when I've made bread, and it always works well. Now, to get this dough out of here onto here, quite simple. We just turn it upside down and turn the blades, and it will release. So just give it a few turns, and hopefully most of that will have come out. Look at that. There's a little bit stuck around the bottom there. That's okay. We can get that out with our spatula. Easy peasy. Not too hard at all. Right. Now, the instructions on here tell us that what we need to do is flatten this out with our hands. Just like that. And then we're going to add in the chocolate chips, I'm pretty sure. And knead them with our hands till they're incorporated. So, just sprinkle them on like this. And then we just bring the dough over. And bring the dough over, and bring the dough over. And just keep kneading it like this, with the heel of your hand. And yep, they will come out, but don't worry, you just keep kneading and they'll go back in. So this will probably take a few minutes to do. And we want to keep doing it because we don't want a big clump of chocolate chips in one spot and then dough with nothing. We want them mixed through, and this is a great way for them to mix through. You just keep moving the dough over. Now the other great thing about this silicone bread mat is, look, nothing is sticking, but the other great thing is now when I'm going to prove this dough, which is our next step, I am just going to wrap it in this bread mat because it helps retain the heat and nothing sticks to it. And then when the proving time is up, I can just unwrap it and chop the dough up and bake it, and it's not an issue. Right, so here we go. Nearly there, I think. A couple of these little tricky things don't want to stay in there. How's that? That's looking pretty good, I think. There we go. So what I am going to do now is I am going to ask Luke, the cameraman, to press the next button for me so I know exactly what to do, so I'm not just making it up. Oh, clean and dry the bowl. No, go back. I've already pressed it. So that's telling us to put it in a bowl and cover it with the bread mat. I am going to just cover it with the bread mat. To do that, it's quite simple. We've got our dough here in the middle, and we just fold the bread mat over and over, tuck it under, and there we go. So we will be back when this has proved. See you shortly. The dough has risen, and what we're going to do now is just break off bits of the dough, about 100 grams per bun. So I'm just going to put it on the scale here and see, that's pretty perfect. That'll do. Give it a bit of a roll around, fold it over, and then we're just going to place it on the tray here. There's a couple they've already done. So I'm going to keep doing this, and I'll come back and show you them all done and what the next step is. See you in a minute. The hot cross buns have had one rise. I've divided them up into buns. They're sitting over the side with a tea towel over them doing the second rise. So now we need to make the mixture for the crosses to make them hot cross buns. So we're going to put 40 grams of plain flour into this bowl. There we go, 40 grams of plain flour. 50 grams of water, which I didn't bring with me. I'll be back in one moment. And now we're going to add in 50 grams of water to mix with the flour. Close enough. And we want a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. About a teaspoon. And a pinch of salt, which I'm not going to put in. And I'm just going to mix that around until it's smooth. So we've got a lovely smooth mixture. And that will just be our mixture that will pipe onto the top of the buns. Now, the word pipe is a subjective word because I actually don't have any piping bags. So what I am going to be doing is just using a freezer bag with the corner cut off, and I can pipe the crosses onto it that way. So I will be back in a moment when we're ready to pipe. Just piping on the crosses onto our hot cross buns. Start with the line. I'm going to go all in one direction and then come back and make it across. While I've got you here and I am concentrating to pipe onto this, I want to tell you about these great baking trays that I've got. These were one of my incentives from Thermomix for reaching a sales target last month. These are amazing rose gold baking trays, and they're all non-stick, and they come with these fantastic silicone liners as well that I'm using just to try and save the tray so it doesn't get too dirty. But it's got marked out on the liners biscuit shapes. So if you're wanting to pipe biscuits or make biscuits, you can get them all the same shape, same size I mean. They're absolutely fantastic. These are all on sale at the moment. The Mix Shop is having quite a sale. You need to hurry up, get over to the Mix Shop, buy yourself a set of these, and they come with these fantastic liners and they are brilliant. And we're nearly done. We're just going to let these sit for about another 20 minutes to keep rising, and then they'll go into the oven. That's done. The hot cross buns have had their second rise, and it's time to bake them. Now, to take the guesswork out of baking, I am using this fantastic new accessory that you can get through the mix shop, currently on sale for $249. It's called the Thermomix sensor. This is an amazing little piece of goods. It's a Bluetooth thermometer. It connects to your phone, which is why my phone is here, and to your Thermomix. So basically, it takes the guesswork out because it will tell you the core internal temperature of the product. So I put this little holder here on the side, and then I am just going to stick that probe into the middle, like that. And then I will put it in the oven, and it will tell us exactly when it is the right time. Right. So we will be back in a while, maybe about 20 minutes or 30. So while they've been cooking, I've just put 40 grams of water and 40 grams of sugar, heated up to 100 degrees for 2 minutes. And that's a beautiful sugar syrup glaze that I am going to brush over the hot cross buns. It'll give them a beautiful shine when it's done, and it also adds just that little bit more sweetness to them. There we go. And your hot cross buns, we will let them sit now for about 10 minutes on the tray, and then I will put them onto a cooling rack, and we will devour them with some beautiful butter. Absolutely delicious. So give these a go. They're not hard. I'm not great with pastry, but I did it. Some of them look a little odd, but that's okay. Adds to the uniqueness of them. Give them a go. It's good fun. It's on Cookie Doo. Chocolate hot cross buns. Happy Easter, everyone.